Good morning. Today we're going to talk about suit selection. So, colors, cuts, molded top, not molded top, uh, considerations, hair color, nail color. Nail color doesn't really matter. But those are the things we're going to talk about. I was just racking my brain to make sure I understood. Not understood, but said everything. Okay, let's talk about it. So, we're going to start with, I have my trusty little list here. We're going to start with the top front, and we're going to go into molded versus unmolded top. So, let's start with molded versus standard. So, here I have a picture of me in we're going to mainly be referencing Toxic Angel suits today. Not mainly, only, because those are the only brand of suit I've worn, except for my first one, but she no longer makes suits. So, let's get into it. Okay, this is the Toxic Angels molded top in size medium. And this right here is a molded top in the size small. So, I did not end up wearing this red suit ever. I returned that suit because the suit came, and as you can see, I was about 6 weeks out in this photo, and the suit top was pretty much swallowing my whole chest. Like, it was just going up way too high, like nearly touching my collarbone here. And I was surprised that the width to height ratio was what it was. So I ended up returning this. This is a medium top and a scoop front bottom. And then this is a a small top and a scoop front bottom. So I ended up returning this and then buying this suit, which I have right here. And I wanted to stick with the molded. I did want to see like the volume it gave me without having to stuff it. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful, but too narrow here. So it was more narrow. The height to width ratio was just not it for me. So I felt like it cut off my physique here, accentuating my lat a lot, which is okay, but the ratio was just off. And let's compare it to just their standard top, which I have in this photo here. So all of these are standard tops. These are size extra large, and then this is size large, and then this is a small molded top. So I prefer these other tops because they laid a little bit flatter across. That's the best example of it here. They laid a little bit flatter across instead of like going up like this. And the reason it's going up like this is tied pretty tight just so it like stays close to my body. But yeah, it was just, I think, a little bit harsher lines than their standard top. I like the softness of the rounded sides on the standard top. So in the future, I will be just wearing a standard top on stage. The other issue is that since it's so narrow, and this is something my former coach said when he saw me in person with these two suits, I was deciding between this suit and this suit when I did the pro qualifier this year, or 2024. And he said, he voiced the same concern. He was like, can we pull this in a little bit, like pull this out a little bit further so we aren't exposing like too much side boob? And then we had to settle on just like the way it looked because there was no way to get it to give me this coverage that the standard top does. So I think the shape was more flattering, but the molded top is what I had. And then you can also see, we'll get into color really quick here. I was deciding between these two suits, and I decided on this one because the color popped against the tan way better. A lot of people wear this indigo color, and it's beautiful, but it just didn't have the same pop that this Tricot Aquamarine suit did. So that is something we'll go into a little bit more later. So that is my thoughts on the molded versus not molded top. And then let's get back into this photo. So this is a size large, and then these two are size extra large. And when you pick out a suit, you might be advised to get a bigger suit than the cup size that you wear. So my cup size is a C. According to Victoria's Secret, I don't know if I believe them. And then a lot of people will be like a size A, and they'll be recommended to get a large top. And they'll be like, well, I'm not even close to fitting in that, and it like completely swells at my chest, like I was discussing with the red molded top. And the reason that you're suggested a bigger size is because you will be able to stuff it and give you better balance from top to bottom. So like as bikini people, we really focus on our glutes. We're like trying to get our glutes big. And if we have like a lot of size on the bottom in that way and then no volume in the chest to counterbalance it, then it affects our silhouette a little bit. It's not like the judges are going to mark you down for not having implants or something, but you will achieve a little bit better balance if you have more stuffing in the suit top. You don't have to, and it's not going to like it's not going to be the difference between you and a pro card. But it's just something that will like amp up and then give you that better overall like finished look. Which I hate to say. I'm a feminist. I hate to say this, but unfortunately that's the reality of the sport. It's a pretty gendered sport. Okay. So, yeah, in the future, I would be getting just like the standard top. Other companies also make a molded top, and a lot of times they're pretty, but a lot of times I notice that they're like really rounded on the bottom, and they start to wear the athlete rather than the athlete wearing the suit. And you want to be the star of the show on your show day. So, I recommend wearing whatever you wear and not something that is wearing you. And then let's talk about the top shape. So we talked about like the molded top shape, but let's talk about just top shape in general. So Toxic Angels has a few options. I'm not sponsored by them, but they have a few options for their top. So this one, I believe Corey, because they recommend a lot of times if you have implants to get the like tall, slim, or like moderate slim, whatever it's called. So Corey Hageman here is a great example of how much a suit top can change your physique. So she's wearing what looks to be the tall, slim suit top, but notice she's getting a little bit of like spillage out of the side here. And it's just not as flattering as the suit on the right is. So she switched suit cuts to just their standard traditional top, and see how much better it is balancing out her physique. In this picture, it looks like it's just sitting on top of her, but she is like wearing the suit in the right photo here. So she's a great example of making sure that your suit top accentuates your physique the best it can. And then another thing for her is that she has a shorter torso. So if she's wearing this really tall top and it's like covering so much of her chest coming up so high, and then she has this big amount of space for her torso, and her suit bottoms are a little bit low here too. If she's doing that, then it gives a bunch of negative space in this torso here, as opposed to the suit on the right, where it looks like very streamlined and balanced from top to bottom. So that is something to be aware of. Just because you have implants doesn't mean you need to get the tall, slim top. There might be a shape that fits you a little bit better and accentuates your shape a little bit better. And this is all about accentuating your personal shape. You won't be able to tell based on someone else unless you guys are identical twins. Maybe you could. I don't know. But it's best to go off of your own shape and not like me bring a picture of Jordan Lee, who's like 4 inches taller than me. Or 2 inches taller than me. I don't know how tall she is. Okay, I think she's like 5'8", and I'm like almost 5'6". Almost 5'6". It's my half birthday soon. Just kidding. Okay. So yeah, go based off you. And then let's look at, what do I have next? The center connectors. Okay. So center connector, it's not going to be like a major thing that you need to worry about, but it is just something to be aware of. So let me pull up, actually I don't even know if I have anyone I'm going to pull up for this, but what I'm getting at is if you are wider up top, then having a long center connector, like these ones that I have, this long center one, can sometimes make you look too wide up top and then by extension, narrow on the bottom. And you want to be balanced from top to bottom. So you want that ratio to be there. So maybe Ashlyn is top size. Okay, well, this is more about top size. I pulled these pictures together a little while ago. So anyway, notice that, so she has a center connector. I think this is Jackie Way. She has a longer connector here, and her top is a little bit too small. It's exposing a lot of her chest in here, compared to Ashlyn, who has the short center connector here, and the top is too big, where it's like swallowing up her chest. So happy medium for Ashlyn could still be this center connector, but less top coverage, and happy medium for Jackie would be honestly just a bigger suit top, and then this is okay. And this center connector. She could do a smaller one, but it's not going to make a major difference. So that's just something to like think about with your connectors, but that's not going to be like the end all be all with your suit. And then what else do I have here? Like I said, I made this a little while ago. Okay, let's talk about back connectors. So if we go to Toxic Angels, then they have multiple options for back connectors. So one of them is their standard ties. Another one uh is like just a little, not a button connector, but like a little clip connector that has, okay, bikini and wellness suits. Sorry, now I'm just like making a suit in front of you. Okay, here are the options. So the back connector options look like this. Where is it? Oh no, you guys, I am so sorry. This is taking forever. Oh, did I see it? Okay, here we go, here we go. So, this is the regular back connector, and we see Jasmine Gonzalez wearing this, I'll show you. And then we have the cute connectors with the tie. So, that, I would say, is your safest bet if you want a back connector. The back connector adds a little bit of extra glam. As you can see here on Jazzy, it looks so pretty on her. But you don't have to have that to, like, do as well as Jazzy did. Laura Lee won, and she didn't have a back connector. Oh, okay, so she has a little tie. So she's able to get this tight enough that it's not going to get loose come, like, peak week or something. So the consideration, if you do a full-on back connector with a hook, is that it will be too loose by the time your show comes, and there's no time to send it back and have them adjust it. So I would recommend, if you're going to do a back connector, which is a super cute look, then to get the one with the tie in the center, so you get best of both worlds. You make sure it's tight enough so it's not lifting in the front and giving you under boob if you get, like, leaner than expected with the back connector, as opposed to the traditional full-on back connector. And I think, not that Toxic Angels, like, back connectors break, that other companies' back connectors break, but it's like an extra thing you would have to worry about. Like, is this thing going to break on me once the show comes? And then I'm, like, kind of fucked. So I would do the one with the tie if you're going to do a back connector. Okay, and then what do I have next? So I have bottom front coverage. So we kind of just talked about this with Corey. Let's look at, well, let me pull this up for you. So, with the front coverage, I, in the future, will not be doing scoop front again. These bottoms are all traditional except for the scoop front here. So, the reason is I have a long torso. So, I get, like, as far as front coverage, I get extra high plus an inch or something. So, the reason that I was not, like, too jazzed about this front coverage on me is this fabric gets really skinny here, starts to point straight up, as opposed to this, which I think gave better shape to my physique, and was another reason that I was debating between these two suits for the shows I did in 2024. So the scoop front is really pretty, but I would recommend it more for someone with, like, a short torso who's trying to elongate their torso. Like, Corey Hageman is a good example of a short torso. And I don't think this is a scoop front, but it reads as a scoop front on her. That roundness really brings in and makes her waist look smaller because of the illusion of that, like, diagonal line going up. Whereas this is a little bit too low that we're starting to see, like, into the suit. So that's an issue that a lot of people have. It will, like, gape at the front, and I've had that issue too. I will show you here. The reason for that is because you need to pull the suit up in the front and down in the back. And that will get the suit to lay flat against you here. That way you're not at risk of, like, being able to look into the suit like that. And this is what the indigo suit looks like on stage. It reads as more purple. The stones I have on the suit are all cobalt shimmer. So, yeah. But you can still, like, read through the blue crystals and see that the suit is, like, purple when it catches the light. Okay, and then, yeah, so scoop versus V versus original front. So this is a picture of what the V front looks like. This was in 2020 when I also competed in wellness. The V front was just, like, way too low. And I know they're trying to move away from, like, too much coverage in the front. I mean, too little coverage in the front because they're seeing things they don't want to see on stage. So, yeah, most people, your safest bet is just standard everything. Standard top, standard bottom. Okay. And then, okay, the look of your connectors. So, let's go back to Toxic. So, they have a ton of options for bottom connectors. The simpler the better, I would say. You don't want anything to steal the show other than your physique and your stage presence. So like this I would say is too much, too thick. This one also I think a little bit much. This one's fine. This is the same, it's just AB crystals. I would just say the simpler the better. So like these single strand connectors or like these double strand connectors, anything that's not too distracting. I have worn this connector on stage. Sam McDonough, NPC. I have worn that connector on stage, and it's really pretty, and it felt very secure. But let's look at what it looks like. I don't know. Okay, will we be able to see it? I'm not sure. I think I just like hold that connector close to my hair because it's so cute. Okay. So yeah, the simpler the better as far as your connectors. Here's what that connector looks like on stage. It's just like a little bit thick. Okay. And then what else do we have? As far as colors for your suit, and let's see if I like left out any of the other things I took notes on. Okay, so top shape, we went over that. Top size, went over that. V front, we went over these things. Bottom front coverage, let's go back to that for a sec. So here's an example of too little bottom front coverage versus enough bottom front coverage. So you don't want to be seeing like the pubic bone. This goes pretty low. So you want to have more coverage like this. That way you're just not seeing anything inappropriate on stage. Not that your bodies are something to be ashamed of or that they're inappropriate. I'm just saying on stage you want to be a little bit more covered up in the goods. Okay, and let's talk about the back coverage. So here we have a pro cut for these three, and this is a micro cut for this suit. One thing that I did not adore about the tricot fabric, and I don't know if they just didn't stone the back of my suit enough, but like my former coach even commented on it. He was like, did they even stone the back? There was a lot of the actual fabric showing and not much of the stone showing. So that was a little bit disappointing. Here is, okay, well, I'm not going to bother showing you. I was going to show you what it looks like here, but you won't even be able to tell that. Yeah, okay, why am I even bothering? This video is all over the place, girl. Okay, let's talk about what am I going to talk about? I'm sorry, guys. I was just trying to make you a video because it's been like a while. Okay, let's just move on to colors for your suit. Okay, here are colors for your suit. So a lot of people will think that they need to match like whatever their skin tone is to their suit. If you're someone like me who's pale and then gets like way darker for the show, then matching your skin color to the suit is not going to do you any good. You're going to be way darker. You aren't going to look like yourself when you do your show day. Something that you should consider is your hair color. So are you going to wear a yellow suit when you have bright blonde hair? No, you're going to look washed out on stage. So here are some pictures of suit colors. So I have a dark red here. This is a hollow dark red or something. That's stuffing sticking out of it. This I would say is a little bit too dark for stage. So I have never worn this on stage. I had a friend wear it on stage. This has a Siam shimmer and then fuchsia shimmer crystals on it. So on stage, I would not wear this dark red because the undertone of a lot of the tans is a dark red. So if you're wearing this color, then it can start to look muddy against the tan, and it's just not really worth it. You want a color that's going to pop off of your skin. We've talked about the indigo a little bit. The indigo is really pretty, but it didn't necessarily pop on me when I did wear it on stage, so I wouldn't wear it again. The Tricot Aquamarine really popped, and I chose more green-based crystals for it to ensure that like the more pastel-y nature of the suit didn't look like ashy on me when I was on stage. And also, since it doesn't have any reflectiveness to it, then I wanted to make sure that like it was popping against my skin. And then this emerald color, I would also say was a little bit dark for stage. Very pretty, but a little dark for stage. So when you are choosing your suit color, I would choose whatever will pop off your skin. And consider what your tan is going to look like at that point. So let's look at their fabric selection. So colors like these bright reds, those will be great. Colors with this like almost black or charcoaly tone to them, not ideal for stage. Tricot lilac is something I would be wary of. Like here's an example of someone wearing like a really bright colored suit that I think did not really serve them that well on stage. It just doesn't really pop on the skin. This looks like a baby blue or teal kind of velvet shade. And also, a consideration with the velvets is that they reflect light so much that they end up looking kind of blurred, and they can start to look like headlights on stage because they're so bright. And this suit also has some singular, like, AB crystals on it, which also can reflect as headlights on stage. So I never really recommend that people asking about suits get suits with any purely AB crystals on them. Like, these reflective crystals, like, I mean, these are shimmer, so not like quite AB, but it's a similar idea. If you get the ones that are like just straight up AB or like nearly white, then on stage they can really wash you out and not do you any favors. And again, you want the suit to pop off of you and celebrate your physique. So if it's like distracting and looking like headlights, then it's not really going to be a great color for stage. Another good example of this was Wu Bai. She wore this like really light, this might be a turquoise fabric, but again with these AB crystals, where it starts to look like kind of crafty and not really vibrant on her. But when she switched to a more saturated color suit over here, is this Wu Bai? Yeah, here she is. This really pops on her, and I believe she qualified for the 2025 Olympia wearing a red suit like that. But let me double check and see if she has qualified for the Olympia, because I don't want to misinform anyone. I think she did, though, for the 2025 already. Okay, 2024. Yeah, okay, so she qualified at Sean Ray, and then she won wearing this suit. This one pops way better on her. So you want to choose something that is saturated and will pop on you. That's all I'm trying to get at with that. And then, do I have anything else I wanted to talk about? Really, my main takeaways are basing off of what you'll look like with a tan. So ideally, if you're even gonna like order swatches from somewhere, because that's something that like most companies will do, they'll send you free swatches of fabric. I would get some of the tanner if you have it, or if you have any tanner, put some on your arm, and then put the fabric against that and like against your hair and see if you like how it looks. But the colors you're going to be safest with are jewel tones, maybe a tricot aquamarine, or something with like a little more of a saturated base. Like lighter colors that you can get away with would be tricot iris right here. That's a really pretty one because it has like more saturation to it, as opposed to say like twinkle lilac, which you can see has a lot of silvery tone to it. So yeah, I think that is all my advice on, I think that's all my advice. I hope this was helpful at all. I truly feel like it was not. So let me know what was left to be desired, because I can make a better video in the future. But hopefully it was helpful at all, and I hope you have a great day.